What's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. I know a few of y'all been waiting, asking me to do this video. Okay, I did go to the Roc Nation Throne boxing event at Madison Square Garden. It was their first card. Everybody knows that this was a celebrity show. I mean, the event itself was great. The card was decent. It was average. It was a regular card. You didn't have any big names, huge names on there, but it felt like it was a Mayweather fight. I'm telling you, I am not lying. This was very over the top. Okay, especially if you were there. I mean, I saw some of it on TV this morning. I watched some of it, but the level, the intensity, you know, and the atmosphere, and it was great. All right, it was a really good time. I mean, I've been to so many HBO and Showtime cards, but none of them matched up to this. Okay, it really felt like a Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view fight. All the celebrities that came out, all of the boxers that came out to show support. It was very nice, you know. Roc Nation had a real, they ran the weekend at least, you know, signing of Andre Ward, signing and including all of Gary Shaw's fighters, and it was good. Now let's talk about the event, or let's talk about the card first. I'm gonna go over the card. I was there from the beginning. Okay, I saw all of the earlier previous fights that wasn't televised, and it was average. It was solid. Early on, though, you know how pre-fights are. You know, people come, they show up whenever. You know, not a big deal, but you can tell people were there. You could just tell that people were supporters of Jay-Z. You know, I've been to so many different Jay-Z events. You know, all of his big sold-out Madison Square Garden shows, and I've been to so many. You can just tell that it had a hip-hop theme to it. You had Fabolous performing. You had Angie Martinez hosting it. You had DJ Mustard doing the music and everything. It had a whole hip-hop theme to it. A lot of people didn't care for that. Me personally, I didn't know how it was gonna work. You know, I didn't know. You know, everybody there's a lot of pressure for Jay-Z right now because he's coming at a time where 50 Cent really hasn't had much success with being a boxing promoter. So a lot of people think that he's going to fail for those exact reasons. Plus, boxing fans themselves are very annoyed and irritated with the promoters of today. And, you know, they're very upset that the fights that they want to see happen are not happening. You know, so he's coming at a time where there's a lot going on with the sport. In a bad way, okay? A lot of people are not satisfied with the sport as is right now. So, you know, I didn't know what to expect. Plus, it's their first event, so you're going in thinking that mistakes are going to be made. There's going to be things that are going to seem a little tacky, but you got to remember this is a Jay-Z event, and I'm surprised that I expected anything less than what I saw that night. Okay, it was very flashy and over the top. Okay, you have Michael Buffer, you know, as the ring announcer for a very average card. You know, it just seemed like it was a big time fight. But the fights itself was cool. I personally thought Tureano Johnson had the best performance of the night. Okay, I think he's going to be one of those guys that people are just not going to want to fight. I know he lost to Curtis Stevens, but he won pretty much the whole fight leading up to that last round where they stopped the fight. He reminds me of James Kirkland, you know, relentless, just kept coming forward. You know, the guy that he was fighting was a pretty good he was a skilled boxer. You know, he was counter punching. You know, he was hitting him with the check left hook. You know, he was just using his legs, but it just wasn't enough. Tureano Johnson was a beast. Okay, I actually think he's probably better than James Kirkland. I would love to see that fight, by the way. But he's just one of those guys that people are not going to want to fight, you know. I can't remember how many rounds that fight went, but it seemed like he never slowed down. He kept coming, and defensively, he has a lot better head movement than a fighter like James Kirkland, because James Kirkland takes a lot of damage to put on damage. Okay, I don't think Tureano Johnson takes as much damage, not nearly. Okay, but I like that fight the best. I know Dusty Hernandez-Harrison had the main event, up and coming prospect, undefeated. 20 years old, okay, from DC, had a pretty solid performance. You know, I think it was pretty much shutout performance. The guy he fought was a New York native. I can't remember his name, but very over the top. You know, for a prospect, you never see a prospect get that kind of hype for, you know, for a fight. You know, there's some big time fighters that never got that kind of presentation for their fight. You know, so it was a big deal. Now, there was a lot of people there. You know, you had some of the Roc Nation athletes there, like Sabathia was there, I believe. Victor Cruz from the Giants was there. Who else was there? The boxers. You know, every boxer from New York, especially from Brooklyn, was there to support. You had Paulie Malignaggi there. Zab Judah was there. You had Andre Ward came. You know, Jennings was there. Guillermo Rigondeaux showed up. You know, that was like the only fighter that I really said what's up to when I saw him. I saw him and I made sure I got his attention. I was glad that he showed up because I was wondering if he was going to show up because there's rumors of him possibly signing Roc Nation. Okay, so he was there. You had, I seen Hasim Rahman in the crowd. Winky Wright, I seen him. There was a lot of fighters up there. Then you had the celebrities, you know. You had the actors there. You had Rihanna there. You know, obviously you had Jay-Z there. A lot of big names out there, okay? It was very over the top. It was a celebrity show out event. So, you know, the event itself, you know, the lady that did the... she did the singer that did the national anthem. She did her thing. You know, they had the Marines coming out with the flag, and it was a very, very over the top. Fabolous did he had a nice performance. Okay, I don't know how I expected anything less from a JC event. Now let's talk about some things. How do I feel about Roc Nation? Okay, I love the event. JC has a lot of pull. You know, he's an innovator. I think he has a lot more influence than 50 Cent. People keep comparing 50 Cent. JC and Diddy have a lot more influence than 50 Cent. Not on just a hip-hop level. I mean, in general. All right, they have a lot more. I think they're better business-minded moguls, period. Okay, I think they have a lot more influence in whatever, in everything, you know. Andre Ward signing to Jay-Z, you're bringing a whole new group of followers to your brand now. Okay, I've made so many videos about Andre Ward and, you know, him not fighting and him being, you know, going through the tussle with Dan Goosen. And him signing a Roc Nation, it's big for him. It could be big, you know. Hopefully we get the fights, okay. But it could be big. But he's getting a bigger following now, a different demographic to his brand now, and that's good, okay. And everybody else, Brian Jennings and all of the other fighters that are now officially Roc Nation or could be Roc Nation, okay. We don't know if he's gonna be successful. We don't know, okay. But there's a difference between him and 50 Cent. There is definitely a difference between the two. I think 50 came in the game throwing his money around, and I don't know if he had the experienced people running the show. I mean, actually running it. I mean, we know Jay-Z is. We know he runs Roc Nation. But he has different people, experienced promoters, running Roc Nation for him. Okay, he has his hands in so many different things. Obviously, JC can't run it himself. All right, he has people doing it for him. And as long as they're doing what they have to do and they're playing their part, I have no problem with that. You know, as long as the fighters are getting the fights that we want to see, that's more what I care about. And of course, the fighters want to be, you know, they want to get paid. And as long as they're getting the fights that they want and the money that they want, then everybody could be happy. The fans could be happy. We get the fights we want to see. And the fans could be happy as well. I mean, the fans and the fighters could be happy as well, okay? But we don't know. But all I can tell you is that it's not the same thing as 50 Cent, okay? Jay-Z, you know, I'm not sure of what kind of pull he's going to have in Vegas. But in New York, he's going to get the fights in Madison Square Garden. Okay, he's gonna get the fights at the Barclays. He has pull in both places. And me personally, I'm from New York, so I love it. You know, I would love to see some bigger fights, more fights at the Garden and at the Barclays Center. Okay. So, you know, I think there's a good chance that he can bring success to the sport. I think they're paying attention to what people are saying. You know, they know people are expecting them to fail, especially because of 50 Cent really hasn't really been that successful. Okay, so I'm pretty sure they're expecting, you know, they know that people are expecting failure from Jay-Z in this, okay? But he does have experience. He is advising a lot of major athletes as it is, okay, with Roc Nation. Okay, you got Robinson Cano, you got Des Bryant, you know, you got CC Sabathia, you got Victor Cruz. You already have people, you have Kevin Durant, all right? You already have major athletes under his umbrella already. And Andre Ward and Brian Jennings and all of these other fighters being a part of it is great. Okay, you're bringing a different demographic and group of people, all right? So I do think they're going to be successful, okay? But none of us know, okay? As far as Al Haymon, I really don't know. You know, we know that most likely Al Haymon won't, unless some of the fighters are mandatory fights. I don't expect Al Haymon fighters to really fight any of Jay-Z fighters. I don't know who else Jay-Z is going to sign. But we're going to have another problem. And this is a continuing problem, you know, because Al Haymon has a bad relationship with Aram and HBO. And, you know, it's more Cold War nonsense going on. Even Jay-Z stepping into the game, he already has a bad relationship. Well, his wife have a bad relationship with Al Haymon. Okay, and I'll speak more about that in a separate video with Adrian Broner. All right? I'm not going to talk about that in this video here. But the event itself was a success. It was very, the presentation was nice. I could only imagine what it's going to be like for some of the bigger fighters like Andre Ward, like Brian Jennings, okay? I hope Brian Jennings does get the fight with Vladimir Klitschko, even though I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready, but at the same time, no one should turn down a fight with Klitschko. Everybody that has an opportunity to fight Klitschko should take the fight because there's a chance you could win, you know? Hopefully that fight happens. Hopefully we see Ward in the ring. I think he's saying that he might be in the ring soon, March or April. I hope that it's against, you know, a tune-up fight. I hope it's not Golovkin. I don't think it will be, but it shouldn't be a top fighter as his first fight. He hasn't fought in a while. He hasn't fought since 2013. So, and even before that fight, he didn't fight. He wasn't really active before that fight. So, hopefully he gets a fight soon. You know, hopefully it could be tune up as in a good fighter at 160 or 168, but not the top fighter. You know, I eventually personally want to see him against James DeGale. Andre Durrell, you know, or one of the Durrell brothers, okay? The fight with Golovkin, I eventually want to see that fight. I want to see the fight with, I want him to go to 175 and see the fight with Kovalev. I do want to see the fight, okay? So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope Andre Ward gets back on his game. You know, I hope we could see him fight at least a couple times this year. And I hope Roc Nation can bring something new to the sport. And basically what's new right now is just giving the fans the fights that they want to see. Okay? I love the event. I had a good time there. But it's really about boxing. And as fun as it was great to see all the celebrities and all the love and all the boxers come out, it was great to be right there with them. But at the end of the day, I care more about the boxing itself, okay? I love the presentation. And the event is great. They can keep doing that. But we got to get the fights that we want to see, all right, eventually, all right? And that's what's most important right now. And, you know, bring a different angle to the sport. Let's not make the same mistakes that 50 Cent made, all right? So anyway, that's my review. I love the card. I had a good time. And be on the lookout for more videos, okay? And make sure you subscribe.